Hi, welcome back. My name is Chris. I'm a French teacher at We Communicate. Let's try and bring a bit of order into your French learning. Let's try and bring a sense of clarity to it all. There's a thought that came to me recently about the complexities of operating a language school, such as I'm doing, but also the complexities of buying a language course. And we're going to talk about all of this, and I think it will make your life a bit easier. Language learning, language courses, and the industry of hiking are two very similar industries. One side wants to sell their hikes, and the other wants to buy a hike. So if you have a hiking business, you have to define a number of things. You have to know what type of hikes you like and the type of hiker that you're trying to reach. Makes sense, right? Selling a very physical hike that requires athleticism isn't the same market as a family hike on flat ground. In the marketing that the hiking business does, they're not addressing the same people, and the customer isn't looking for the same type of hiking business. Language learning is exactly the same thing. For example, if you're looking to do the Santa Cruz trek in Peru that involves crossing the Punta Union Pass at 4,750 meters, you want to know why your guide is knowledgeable and why you're guaranteed to get what you want out of your trek. But if you rather want to take a 2-kilometer stroll through the woods and hope to see some wildlife, you're not looking for exactly the same business, and it makes sense when we talk about hikes, but language learning is exactly the same thing, though we forget it. Not all hiking companies offer the same thing, not all guides offer the same walks, and not all customers want the same outcome. And similarly, not all language schools offer the same classes, not all teachers offer the same classes, and not all students want the same outcome. For example, studying for the DELF certificate is a type of test. It's a type of teacher. Taking a weekly class as a hobby is a type of low-stake class. Playing with Duolingo is an even lower stake, whatever you call it, game. Just as a hike, there are different paths that we follow and different destinations. That's the key word, destinations. Where are you going with your hike? Where are you going with your French? Learning some French doesn't seem like much of a destination to me. But if this was the hiking business, we'd be quite alarmed at this behavior. We'd walk in and say, hello, I'd like to book a hike, I don't quite care where I'm going, or even if the guide is experienced and I'm quite happy as long as I'm walking. It would be absurd, it would be Monty Python-esque. But if you think it's funny, just read some of the comments on YouTube beneath any language video. I found a few here as an example, I didn't even have to look far. I'll read a few to you. I'm studying at Alliance Française in New York. I'm using YouTube and French flashcards as supplements. I feel like I'm struggling at times, but my friends say I'm improving. My dream would be to take the DELF in about 3 years and pass it in about 3 years. Does that sound like a destination? There's not one destination. Why are you struggling if you're doing classes with Alliance Française? Isn't it the whole point that you're no longer struggling? This person should have told Alliance Française, listen, I want the DELF, that's my destination. But instead of that, it seems to me that they regularly attend Alliance Française, not quite knowing why, using YouTube as a supplement to Alliance Française. For what they charge, you shouldn't be using YouTube, by the way. And then French flashcards, why? Doesn't Alliance Française give you flashcards? Maybe they do, maybe you're not using them, I don't know the specifics of the situation, but it doesn't seem like a destination to me, does it? Let's read a second comment on YouTube that I found. I'm on day 267 of Duolingo and day 168 of Boozoo. Okay, 2 apps. Doing the beginner A2 curriculum and getting in the deep end and my toes are barely touching the bottom. What bottom? I follow a half-dozen French learning channels that are very interesting and engaging, tips, slang, etc. I do the 2 apps at least an hour a day. What? And it's part of my routine. I was interested in a 2-week immersion study in Paris in the fall, but now I feel not that confident in my abilities to keep up. Funny, I was in La Rochelle for a month 7 years ago, okay, this might have been before Duolingo, for a yacht delivery, and the crew and myself were basically stranded there. I got by with bonjour and merci and got along with everybody and had the greatest time. Now, knowing a lot more French, I feel like an imposter syndrome brewing. Why? I'll get to the next phase eventually. Yeah, okay, the next phase. What next phase? You don't know what if you don't know what the next phase is, how can you get there? Why 2 apps? Why 267 Duolingo? Why 168 Boozoo? What is the destination? Is there a destination to this hike? It doesn't seem like it to me. Beginner A2 curriculum, what does that even mean? What does it mean? A2 means that you can't yet offer a fluid conversation to someone. That's really what it means. Nothing more. Following half a dozen French learning channels that are very interesting and engaging. Yes, but where are you going? What's the destination? What do you want to do with your French? You see? Let's read a third comment. This time I'm going to use Lingoda, right? I love your periodic immersion strategy. So they're commenting on the YouTube video they were watching. I think immersion is essential to move past A2 and negotiate the value of the intermediate, quote unquote. They're calling it the valley of the intermediate. I'm presuming they used something else last time. That didn't work. I'm going to use Lingoda this time. Then they're quite interested in the periodic immersion strategy. They want to move past A2 and it doesn't seem to know where they're going. Okay, the destination, if I'm fair, the destination seems to move past A2 and the destination seems to be to negotiate the valley of the intermediate. Okay, let's put this in hiking terms. Hello, we're going to cross the valley. Well, I hope we can negotiate it. I don't really know what's on the other side, but I'm going to negotiate the valley of... If this was the Grand Canyon or something, or some huge gorge or some walk through the jungle, we're going to negotiate the valley of and hope to come out the other side. I don't know where we're going really, but we're just going through the valley at some point. That's what they're saying. Let's read a fourth comment. I began my journey to become fluent again in French last fall. I went to a French school in Antibes near Nice. I also do daily online classes including Babel and 3 other platforms, or you can't make this up. And I travel to Paris twice monthly. This time I'm attending another school which is in Paris. I also listen to podcasts, I'm running out of fingers, like Inner French, where I can read the transcript at the same time and watch shows on Lingo Pi, that's 10, where you can click on the subtitles for translation. Netflix and Prime, I'm assuming it's extra, that's 12. And I'm reading 2 books in French, that's 14. And then they say in French, c'est un défi, mais c'est très gratifiant. It's a challenge, but it's very gratifying. Right, 12 sources of learning. Now imagine if this was a hike. We're going in 12 different places and we hope to get somewhere. What is the destination? Where are you going? What's the plan? These are universal life principles. You can't achieve a thing if you don't know where you're going, whatever it is. It's like saying, I wish I was rich. Well, if you don't have a plan, if you don't fix the amount, I wish I had a better car. Which better car? How are you going to get there? Which one do you want? What's the price? What's your plan? You know? 14 different things. And even if it was just 12, it'd be bad enough. There's no plan. Plus, they seem to have lost their fluency somehow. They used to be fluent and they lost it. So this I really don't understand. I'm thinking it's a misuse of the word fluent, right? I think you get my point. So this just about concludes my video about hiking and French learning. I don't know what other French language schools do. I just teach the French. The French. Come in, learn it, leave. It's easy. Thanks a lot for watching. My name's Chris from We Communicate. I'll see you soon. Bye.